About sport or no sport?
Well, yeah, and we're hoping to clarify this a little bit for you, because I know going into certainly lockdown too, lots of people are concerned they're not going to be able to go out and carry on doing the fitness and the exercise they've been doing over the last few months. Well, I can tell you there appears to have been a government U-turn over grassroots sport after the Prime Minister dismissed calls for golf and tennis to be made exempt from the new restrictions. Cabinet Minister Michael Gove suggested otherwise during a live Q&A with residents from his Surrey constituency last night. So that information due to come today. And one thing we do know for sure is that children's grassroots sport will be suspended outside schools. Culture Secretary Oliver Dowden said it would have to stop to reduce the risk of transmission. And that is not what the Youth Sports Trust wanted to hear. Leicester City are flying in the Premier League. They are now just a point behind leaders Liverpool after a comfortable 4-1 victory at Leeds last night. Leinster's remarkable run in Rugby Union's Pro 14 continues. They've now won 23 matches in. Now, Rugby League side Toronto Wolfpack will not be returning to Super League. The league's other clubs voted against letting the Canadian side back in after they much more on the situation regarding grassroots sports coming up throughout the programme this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We're speaking to Robert Jenrick later, see if we get some answers as well. Thank you, Sally.
Yeah, lots to sort out, and thanks for your questions and comments about that.
Or mostly isn't allowed.
Yeah, the really important issue of grassroots sport, particularly this morning. Morning, everyone. The government, of course, has ruled that all children's sport outside school has to stop for the 4-week lockdown period in England. Well, former footballer Robbie Savage has launched a petition calling on the government to allow supervised youth team sport to be allowed to continue. Ron, and very busy, so thanks very much indeed for chatting to us this morning. What do you make of all of this? I was just going to say, you make such a convincing point, and I can hear how much detail you've gone to with all of this and how passionate you are about this. But I have to put to you the government's point, which is there has to be a line in the sand somewhere.
Sally.
Watching this morning, Robbie Savage explaining to us there why he thinks it's so important that children should be allowed to continue to play sport outside school. I just want to tell you this is a statement from the government that was released last night. Government spokesperson said, "We recognise how important exercise is for people's physical and mental health, which is why it's always been an essential activity under England's coronavirus restrictions, but outdoor exercise will be permitted alone, with your household or one person from another household, so that people are able to stay active safely." That's what the government's saying.
Sally, thank you very much, and we will continue, of course, talking about all of that throughout the programme. Thank you.
I suppose that the element of confusion there is about what happens with sport over the sort of coming weeks in England, what you can play, what you can't play, and there's been a bit of clarity this morning, hasn't there?
And it's changed while we've been on air, hasn't it? We heard Michael Gove saying last night that he was hoping that golf and tennis might be allowed. We've heard this morning he got that wrong. The situation is that is not allowed. We're going to be talking about swimming right now. Actually, we talked about grassroots sports for kids an hour ago with Robbie Savage, and the government is now resisting calls for grassroots sport to be allowed to continue during the lockdown. Children's sport away from school will have to stop. Outdoor tennis courts and golf courses will definitely be closed, along with leisure facilities, including swimming pools. Now, 200 pools closed for good during the first lockdown. Now we can speak to Olympic medalist Steve. Thanks very much indeed for coming on BBC Breakfast to talk about this. What do you make of this latest decision now to shut leisure facilities and swimming pools in particular? You know, indoor sport, there's no ventilation, that might not be a safe place to go. What's your argument against that? Said yesterday that the priority now, there's one priority, which is getting this R number down. You must be able to admit that the country has got to do anything to get that under control, and this is just one of those things that's going to have to happen for the next month. They recognise the importance of sport for physical and mental health, and they're going to try and resume things as quickly as they can. What's your best hope now at this point? Talking to us, obviously, about the difficulties facing the leisure industry and grassroots sport at the moment. So we had confirmation, didn't we, this morning? The leisure facilities, the swimming pools are all going to close. No tennis, no golf, despite appeals yesterday.
It's clear. Sally.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.